this is Mary from SVG Cuts, and I'm here today with 5 brand new box cards for fall. So I love designing and making box cards because they're really fairly simple to put together, especially if you're in the mood to be crafty. It's a lot of fun to make. It's also a lot of fun to give and to see somebody when they open it up and receive it, how they're so impressed and wowed with it. And chances are they will leave it out as part of their decor for the season, and it's just a whole lot of fun. So I came up with some fun designs this time. I have a nice, really super simple one that can work for any season, not just fall. You can make it in a super snappy snap. And I have noticed that a lot of paper companies have designs like this in their paper collections. So it's easy to just cut it apart and put it inside something like this. We also have a couple other projects that use that size of design if that's something that you're interested in. I'll link it below. And I also, of course, wanted to come up with some more fun, detailed cards as well, such as the cute little scarecrow. I think he's really cute and festive and adorable. He's going to bring a smile to someone's face if you make it and give it to someone, and they'll definitely put it out with their decor or just around to bring them joy during the season, I think, which is fun. And I also came up with 3 more. So of course, a big full-size pumpkin box card. We have some other pumpkin-themed box cards that feature a bunch of little pumpkins on them, but this one obviously is just one. So I'm really happy with the way that it came out. I think it's really pretty and festive. And I think someone even mentioned on Facebook that this would make a nice place card for Thanksgiving or fall. If you were of a mind to create amazing place cards, you could certainly do that. Really, any of these would work for that, especially this, since it's so slim, it would fit on a table setting, I think. I also came up with a fun pumpkin pie box card, and obviously it doesn't just have 4 sides. It's kind of a different look to it. And the cool thing about the box cards is how they fold flat to go inside their envelope. So when they come out, they look really dimensional and cool. So sometimes it's hard to believe that it fits in an envelope, but it does, and it's easy peasy. So I also have this one too, which is just a very natural take on some elements of fall, some pretty maple leaves and some seed pods, helicopters, what have you on the inside. I also think that one's really cool. So I have all my pieces cut out to show you how each card goes together step by step. So let's get started. So first of all, for the frame box card, I have all the pieces here. I kind of laid them out on top of where they're going to be going. I've got the side, the back panels, and the front panels, this interior one, the label, the interior panels, and the envelope, which you can see in the PDF menu document that comes with your download, which I usually print out to show you guys, but I also usually talk about how you can look at it on a tablet too. So I went ahead and dropped it onto my iPad, and you can open it with the Books app, which is what I did. Depending on your tablet and your setup and all that, it could be a little bit different. So if you're comfortable doing that, then great. So the PDF, however it is that you look at it, it shows you the same hopefully helpful information. Mainly the shapes that you're going to be cutting out and what they're called, and it also shows you the type of paper that I used in the sample that you see. Just in case you're curious and you want to use the same paper, or if you want to change it up, it makes it helpful. So you can see these panels 1 here, diagonal plaid patterned. I pretty much used the same for this second example here. Panels 2, that's here and here. The card base is 2 pieces, which is underneath these panels. This middle part I cut by hand. It's a 3x4 rectangle, and I just chopped it on my paper slicer guillotine that I have. Or you could use scissors or some kind of straight edge cutting tool. But it's also included in the extras folder if you want your machine to cut that out. Then I have some interior panels because this card has some panels on the inside of it, also, not in the front inside, just the sides and the back. Kind of brightens up the inside and really makes it pop in there. And then the envelope, which I have here, you can see there. So for each project, you can see all of those shapes depending on what you're working on. So, you know, if you want to save some paper and you feel comfortable being organized with that, that's always an option instead of printing. I actually ran out of ink when I was trying to print it, and I thought, you know what, maybe it's better that I don't. So let's go ahead and get started. So if you want to apply some ink to the edges of these shapes, you can. I'm going to skip it now, but that's what I did on this. I rubbed, before I glued them down, I rubbed some ink around the edges using some old ink pads that I have. You can do that with ink pads or ink in a dauber, which looks like this. You can get these, they come blank. Mine have ink on them from using them, but you can dab it on an ink pad such as this. If I was to rub this directly on the edge of my shape, it would be way too harsh and thick. You can blend it in with this a little bit, or you can dab that there. I still have a little bit too much on my dauber here, but that's way more than I would really like to have on there. I'm still getting the hang of it because I used to use different ink pads that are discontinued. So I think in a nutshell, what I'm trying to say is if you like this technique and you want to do it, here's one way to do it with stuff that's available now, because the way that I was doing it for a long time with the color box ink pads is no longer possible because they're discontinued. So this is not discontinued. These are just plain old daubers. I forget the brand name. And then this is Catherine Pooler ink. And if you want to just start small, I think brown is usually a good go-to, especially with the holidays coming up. I used to only use brown on my edge inking. So if you wanted to get yourself some ink and some daubers, that would be a good start, is just by getting just the brown. I don't think you have to get a whole set with a million different colors, because it gets a little, it seems like it gets a little addicting, and it's not super cheap. So I don't want to get you all jazzed up about something that's a little pricey. Some of the inks can be a little pricey, so if you want to just check it out and see how you like it, I would suggest starting with just a brown ink pad. Dark brown, medium brown, whatever. And it's pretty universal. I feel like you could ink the edges of just about anything with a brown, and it's going to look pretty cool. You could go lightly for a subtle effect, or you could go heavier for more of a grungy effect, more of a vintage effect. But either way, I think it does add a really nice touch because it sort of seals the edges off and makes it look just more finished and more interesting and more special, I think. So in the interest of time, I don't think I'm going to ink the edges of all my shapes because I want to get this new SVG kit out there for you guys to make, and that would make it take a little bit longer, and time is not always on my side lately with my toddler in my life, which I'm not complaining about, but I have to be a little selective about my priorities, I guess. So inking, it's hard not to prioritize inking because I love it. Okay, so easy peasy, I'm gonna glue the outside panels on these shapes here. Just like this. And just like this. So back to this, I had said that I cut it out of a piece of paper. So this is the sheet of paper that came with my paper collection, which is Fall Fever by Echo Park Paper Company. I feel like a lot of different paper companies' designs include a sheet like this that has 3x4 squares on it. And it makes for some fun, easy, cute designs. As you can see, you can cut them apart manually, which is what I did here, as well as here. And I like to make super quick and simple designs that you can use these with, because I see them so often and they're always so cute. So if you wanted to make, you know, quite a few of these cute cards, you could even add some stuff like pumpkin shaped button, or, you know, you're creative if you're watching this, I'm guessing. So hopefully that's fun for you. And of course, it doesn't have to be autumn themed. It could be any theme. So next I will glue these on and stamp on that piece. So the stamps that came with my paper collection are super cute, and I'm going to pick one and stamp it on here. Probably just use what's already here. As you can see, I am not a stamp block washer offer. I kind of just let it ride. So, true confessions. Very cute. Love it, love it. Glue it on. Simple, lovely, enough room to sign your name or whatever. And then I will glue this on here. So it's a little hard to judge exactly where to put it, so I'm going to take my best guess, and then I'm going to fold it sharply over and move it over if I need to, so that it is properly positioned. So there's the whole outside of the card, and now I can glue this interior piece into place, which is going to help me see exactly where to put my little element rectangle. And put this in. And put these guys on the sides. Just like, oh, wait a second. I almost got ahead of myself there. Oopsie doopsies. you know? I bet you guys, I bet you caught that. I bet you caught that. Close this up and make sure it's properly positioned, and then squeeze this baby in there. Just like that. So if I had all my fall crafting supplies accessible, which I have them in my basement, and I'm just, at this time, I'm just not going to go down there and get them. But if I did, I would put something else cute on here, maybe on the inside, something that's not two-dimensional, but that would add a little extra fall interest, like a leaf-shaped button or something like that, which I'm sure I have something like that in my stash. If you have a big stash of craft supplies, I bet you have something. Or you could cut out an element if you have, you know, you could shrink down a leaf shape from this kit. Just pull out one of those leaves and shrink it down and put it on the front. Just a little extra something would be cute, depending on your theme. If you're watching this and you're not making it for fall, maybe you're making a Christmas one, a Halloween one, a birthday, you name it, you can make it for anything at all. So there's the envelope. Make sure you didn't glue it together. And then you can fold it this way or this way, whatever floats your boat, and close it up. And that's it. Next, for the maple leaves box card, I have my pieces here as well as my PDF document, which I usually like to print out, but today I am looking at it on my tablet, which is kind of nice, a little more eco-friendly perhaps. And you can see all the pieces for the project. So the envelope is broken up into several parts because the card is pretty large. And then there's the card base, the insert decoration, the label, the back panel, and then the side panels and the front panel. So you can certainly make those out of whatever colors and pattern papers you would like to use. But if you want to use the same that I've done, that's why I listed there what colors and everything that I used. So these are the envelope pieces. We can save those until the end. I've got my label here that I can stamp on, and the side pieces I went ahead and folded where they're scored. There's the side and the back, the front. The front is here, the sides are here, and the front is not folded, but the sides are. So along those score lines, I'm going to fold those forward, just like that, and that. And the back is also not folded. So here's the insert with its piece here, which will go right on top of it. And these pieces have a little number. Your machine will have cut a little number into each of them. This one says 2. This one says 1. This one says 3, and this one says 4. So what I'm going to do is fold these forward. Oops, that was the sound of my baby monitor. I forgot to turn that down. I'm so used to hearing it that I don't even hear it anymore. Okay, so these are both flat. These are folded. I'm going to position them like this. So this will be the front. This is the left side. So if we're looking at the finished card, this is the front here. This is this side here. This is this side here. This is piece number 3. And then the back here is this. And this will go in the middle. And then that, it's gonna be pretty easy. So I'm just gonna glue these together side to side first, and then I'll glue the panels on. And I'm not gonna glue the panels on super perfectly because I want it to feel pretty natural. So I can just glue these together like this. So if you wanted to do any edge inking before you put your shapes on, I do have a method for doing that. I like to just take this mini ink pad that I have. It's just a dark brown ink pad, and I have a dauber here. I used to rub the ink pad directly on my shape when I used to use different ink pads, but these are all the ink pads that I've found are really just really inky, and it's just too much if you do that. So anyway, if you wanted to do that, it is a really nice touch, and you could even fold it and get some ink on that cut line there to accentuate it. It doesn't take much. I feel like I have a little more ink on here than I would really like to have. But using like a dark mustard, if you have a lot of colors of ink, you can get a little more creative with the colors that you choose. Or if you are just starting out with this technique and you just want to use dark brown, I feel like that generally works pretty well on almost anything and everything. So I will just go ahead and do that to most of these leaves. So I'm still kind of perfecting this new technique because this is a little different than the ink pads I used to use. I don't know how much I'm really loving that, but it is what it is. It's fine. So maybe I just have too much ink on there, I'm thinking. But it still adds a nice effect, and I think even if it's not exactly the way I want it, personally, to me it does look a little bit better than just being completely plain. So I'm gonna keep it up here and just get a couple edges with some darkness to make them look more dimensional and lifelike. So next I will get ready to glue these on, but I might as well stamp on my shape here, my circle. And I am using the stamps that came with this paper collection. These are the Love You Pumpkin stamp set stamps by Echo Park Paper Company. And I'm going to use this one that says Welcome Fall, since it's a nice circular design on my circle. It would be nice to color those leaves in with some markers. So I will glue this one onto the front, and I'm just gonna kind of loosely glue it on. Just like this. And it's just kind of, it's a little quote unquote maybe messy-ish, which I like. It makes it feel pretty natural and lifelike to me. I'm not so sure about that inking. I feel like I do like this better. When I did the original one, I used more of like a dark orange, a brown, and maybe a dark orange there. It's more of a subtle effect instead of just using dark brown on everything. So it is what it is, as they say. So there's the outside of our card, and I'm going to glue this green design onto the brown. And then this goes inside with the back of this is going to be flush with the back of the card, and the back of this will be flush with the back of the card, just like this. So it's a little difficult to see, but right in there, and then this one goes right in there just like that. Might be easiest to kind of position it and then put some glue on it. Oopsies. So when you're looking down from outside, you can see in there and line it up nicely. And then the same thing here. It just butts right up to the back of the card and is hidden behind that part of the design. So we can fold it flat to make sure that it's going to lay flat inside its envelope. Yeah, it looks like we're good. So there we go. Pretty cool. Again, I do like the inking a little bit better that I did on this one. So, I don't know. They're both cool though. They're both super cool. For the envelope, it's broken down into parts because this card is so large. So this is the bottom flap. This is the top flap. And these are the sides, just like that. So I will glue them onto the large rectangle, just like this. So this bottom will get glued onto the sides, just like this. And then your card will fit inside with plenty of room. Oopsies, too soon. I'll let that dry and grab the dry one and just carefully slide that inside and close it up. Next, for the pumpkin box card, I have my shapes laid out here, except for the envelope, which I have off to the side over here. This is the envelope. Then I have the pieces of the pumpkin here with some of the pieces on top of them. So this one is easy to identify. Next, this one with the stem on it. This, I've gone ahead and folded like this. This has this leaf on it, but we are not going to glue that on just yet. Then this piece, and then this with these two on it. So these two look pretty similar, but you can tell which is which by how well this fits on here. So that fits really nicely. If I tried to put it on here, it's just not quite an even border. So this goes here, this goes here. I can go ahead and glue this on, and this on, but not this one just yet. So let's do that. I did go ahead and stamp on this label with the stamp set that coordinates with the paper collection that I used, which is the Fall Fever collection by Echo Park Paper Company. So I'm going to take this and glue it like this. Then I can glue the back on. And then I'm going to use, I could just glue this right on here, but I'm going to use some dimensional adhesive to make it stand out from that surface. So my favorite dimensional adhesive is by Thermoweb, and it's called 3D Zots, and they are super sticky. And I think I'll put 3 of them on the back of this. And center that right on there. And set that aside. I will use some of those here. Just like this. And then I will do the same thing here. Just like that. And then I will glue this onto the back like this. So just like that. And then I will glue this onto the center of my other piece here. Just like that. And then I will glue this on. I'm just going to glue it right here and leave this like that. Then when you fold it flat, it can lay flat, but then when it pops out, it's kind of curved forward like this. So there it is. So to make the envelope, we're going to fold it like this and glue that bottom flap in place and give it some time to dry before you put your card in. And fold it flat like this. Just like that. For the pumpkin pie box card, I have my pieces here, except for the envelope, which is here, off to the side. I've got this insert piece, which I folded, and then we can glue our whipped cream here on the top. I also have these panels laid out like this, and I went ahead and stamped here on that one. Then I have this piece here, which just folds here, here, and there. And then this piece, which just folds up like this. Pretty easy as pie, I would say. So I'm going to start by gluing this here, like that. Then I'll go ahead and glue this here. The nice even border around it. And this. Then I'll glue this right here. And this, nice and centered, with an even border around all four sides. Next, I'll glue the whipped cream pieces into place here, which goes like this. So, I'll glue that there. And this, oh, you can see where that goes. This one goes here. Then this is just going to be loose on the inside. It helps it stand up. This will get glued onto the inside right here, just like that, so that it's centered. And the bottom of it should be flush with the bottom of the crust. So, to close it up, we're going to fold that over and then accordion fold these guys. So that's the card folded up. Then when it opens up, the whipped cream goes through that slot, and this tucks into the back side, just like this. Oh no, I stamped on the wrong side. Oh man. Silly me. I guess that could be the back too, but I will make a note of that when I edit this in just a minute. So for the envelope, we fold this over and fold that up and glue those together, just like that. And your card fits right inside. Just like that. So there you have it, brand new box cards for fall and beyond. I hope you have an awesome time making them, and if you do, you'll have to share a picture with us on social media or on your blog and send it to us somehow. However you like to share, I always love to see, and so do the rest of our crafty friends. So thanks for watching. I'll catch you next time, and happy crafting.